As you may have guessed, I'm having a couple of problems here. Hello, welcome to round 3 of Autopolis. Well, the GT World Endurance Championship Season 2, round 3, race 1. Sorry, I'm all of a tither. I didn't think I was going to be on with you. The internet just kept saying no to me. I'm having a nightmare. I've got these, like, someone bought me some sugar-free Red Bull, tropical flavour, which is my favourite flavour, but sugar-free sucks, man. It's so horrible. So I'm watering it down with a bit of whiskey. So tonight's stream might start getting a little frisky, a little interesting. I'll tell you the rules. We're already qualifying because I am so slow at this schnizzle, and looks like that one livery hasn't shown up on that one for some reason. Oh, you bugger, I hate it when that happens. Yeah, we've got these guys. They're racing around in Group 3 cars. They're doing it for 3 hours tonight. They've done it for 2 rounds before this. And, oh, man, if I could remember where they were, I'd tell thee. I honestly can't remember. Didn't look at the league details, I'll tell thee. Tracks. Oh, yeah, Watkins Glen was round 1 and Cataluna was round 2. And then we've moved on to Autopolis for round 3. And I've got some inside information I can share with you about Autopolis. I found out the secret. Let me have a little sip of this whiskey Red Bull combo thing. Am I on? I am on. No one said hello in the chat. It worries me. Oh. Yeah. It makes the Red Bull a lot more... Well, no, it doesn't. It's still shit. Sorry, it's still rubbish. Okay then, everyone. Here we are. Let's get serious. We're in the middle of qualifying. 4 minutes down of a 15-minute session. These guys are out there. I'll try and tell you their teams. We've got Melvin, who he's racing with the A's. Then Floris, he's racing in the Audi. Frequency is with Stusilla Racing in the McLaren. I remember them. Fred Dude is racing for AequepaX. Then Rotary for the Full Throttle Racing team in the Genesis X, which is becoming my favourite looking car out there. Is it an electric car or something? It's got no headlights, has it? Or has it? It's got lines, I remember. Yeah, I have seen it in the dark. It's got lines. Yeah, it can't be electric, but it's nice. I know it's pretend, but it's... Then we've got Splash racing for AequepaX Racing as well. Tuwu is racing for... I'll come back to him. Big Mama is in the Mercedes. Let's put a bit of Gentleman Jack on the side of that car, and we're close. I'll have another sip of it, see if it's made it any better. I think I might have to put some sugar in there. I think that's what it's missing. Yeah, it's definitely missing some sugar. And AequepaX saying, hi Ryan, hi. Yes, I'm Thingy-Majig, and welcome to AequepaX Racing. We're going to go racing around Autopolis. So yeah, I was going to tell you the secret of Autopolis. I was trying to get all the rules and stuff out of the way, and the who's who. I gave up on it. First, let me tell you the secret of Autopolis. Melvin's on pole at the moment in the BMW, and I'll have a look at what team he's racing for in a second. Could be, it's not, I don't know, I don't recognise the livery, and I've done 2 rounds already. That's shocking. I know Clockwork Orange are in a Beamer. I can't remember. So, I've got the sheet, don't worry, I'll go back and have a look in a minute. I'll tell you who's who before we get to the end of the qualifying. Now, I've got to tell you the conspiracy behind Autopolis. Right, now the little town of Fukutua, they paid a lot of money, huge bucks, huge yen. We're talking big yen. Big, not little yen, big yen, for top designer, top racing track designer was going to come along and design this track, this racetrack that was going to be beyond any racetrack ever. And they paid a lot of money for this dude. On the day he turned up with his design, to draw his design and stuff, his little one missed nursery. He had his 5-year-old with him. So obviously what you do with any other 5-year-old, you put him in the corner, give him a few scraps of paper, you can copy daddy, like drawing a racetrack. Meanwhile, well, obviously the designer thought it was dead serious, dead obvious what the racetrack design is. So when the people who were paying the big bucks and making the racetrack came into the room, and he'd already scooted off because his little one was tired, you know, he had to get home. They saw the two designs, and to this day we're still not sure which design they used. I suspect they're using the 5-year-old scribble, but you know that no one will admit it. No one will ever admit. That's something they'll never admit. They'll never admit that that is a 5-year-old scribble on the back of a memo, and they paid big yen for that. Right then, let's get on to the teams. You don't want to know about the conspiracies of Autopolis, do you? My God. Although it's golden stuff, guys. It's golden stuff I'm giving you here. I was late, man. I was so late. Yeah, Caliber was having a moan that I was late. I was late, bro. I also tried to get the stream up and running twice, but the computer said no. What am I looking for? I'm looking for all the details, so I can tell you who's in what team, and get the team sheets up, and then we get all proper then. And then I can tell you the table. Look at me, organised. You never know, we might not have qualified. I haven't told you anything about qualifying. Like I said, Melvin's pole frequency is in 2nd spot so far. They're all doing it on softs, why would they not? The Audi boy, Flores, is in 3rd, Nano Maranello. I know it is. Scuderia Chiora in the Corvette, I believe. Splash is racing for the, it might be the AXR team or the AequepaX team, but really they're the same thing, so it doesn't matter. Fred Dude, also with the AX team / AequepaX Racing team. Harry Mop, I like that name. Harry Mop in the BMW. I'm getting some livery issues. I really am. The internet was that poor that I'm just getting, I'm sure these are not people's liveries, and it's disgraceful. Tuwu is racing in the Corvette also. Look, I can't excuse me, that's Clockwork orange car. It's not orange, it's Clockwork Racing. I don't know why I keep saying orange, because it's a book, and I can't help it. Clockwork Racing, I mean, clocks are clockwork as well. I don't think they're some sort of cult film. So Rudolph in the chat saying, soon did, what the hell? How can I read that? Scudinaya. Oh, he's really spelling it out for me. Look. Scuderia Ara. Look, I'll tell you now, English isn't even my first language. Mumbling is my first language. Mumble. I mumble everything so I can get away with pronunciation. What the bloody Scuderia Chiara. Chiara, I was saying Chiora. Chiora. Oh, come on. Chiara, sorry. Scuderia. I've got one team right and they moaned at me about it. My God, and Big Mama in that. I like that. We have a livery change, so I'm not recognising these liveries. I would have noticed that livery if I'd seen that livery before. And I don't recognise that Mercedes livery. I like it, but I don't recognise it. Right, I'm getting to the teams. We're nearly at the end of quali. Jesus. Fred Dude's gone faster. Sorry, you're missing all the action spilling out here. Fred Dude, he's at like 2/10 now behind the Corvette. He's hundredths ahead of Splash, who's gone in. He's given up for the day. He doesn't think he's going to better that time. Sticking with 7th, it would seem. Maybe a little bit of cramp in the old leg, maybe, possibly. So Melvin, he's in a BMW. So I'll quickly try and nip down this list. What number car has he got? Does anyone know? Don't worry. I'm never going to see that. I'll just look for BMWs and see if Melvin's on the team. BMW. No, not that one. BMW. Melvin, who would usually race with Dan Robbo and Calibre. So yeah, that car's usually white and red, so that's confusing for me. But yes, he's racing in the Speedbots Motorsport team. Melvin, for the Speedbots, this is if it's not enough for me trying to deal with what's going on, and then they start, has he brought a ringer in? Is that an autopilus specialist? So Floris then, come on. There's only one nutter that drives an Audi in this championship, and that's Garage 96. See, there's no... Oh, I would have got that because I know they're 96, you see. The liveries are playing me right. One. So Floris, second fastest, doesn't 1:44.6. Just don't know if there's more in it. We're watching them go round. We've only got 2 more minutes of qualifying. Frequency, I know, is with Full Throttle Racing. Rotary with the AequepaX Racing. Nano Maranello is with Scuderia Chiara. And yeah, some late arrivals going across the line using nicknames. Another thing I've got to moan about GT7, why nicknames? I make a choice to go with their bloody annoying proper. That says Frequency. Oh, it's in brackets. So Frequency goes second fastest. Sorry, but sorry. Floris down to third. Rotary now fourth. Nano and Maranello fifth. Fred Dude sixth. Splash. So these are where all the moves are being made. Tuwu in the Aston Martin, is that? And then Harry Mop in the BMW. That must be a Clockwork one. And then we've got Storm Pacer slinging the Chevy around. Second off of Tuwu, who's a 10th off of Splash. Splash has given up for the day. He was only 900ths off of Fred Dude. More people putting lap times in. A 10th, he's 100th. Sorry, Fred Dude is off of Harry Mop. Harry Mop's looking for 1.8 seconds on Nano and Maranello. They've all got about half a tank of fuel on board, so it's not weight that's dropping off that's going to help them in this one. It's got to be mad skills. At the moment, Melvin is pole. Frequency has just put it up into second place to pit Floris. Floris is on a lap, though, coming near to the end of a lap. We might see a sector from Floris. Floris may be the first person to cross the line, or maybe no. Possibly might get another lap. Let's try this awful whiskey Red Bull combo. Might drop the Red Bull altogether and just drink the whiskey. Wow, it's got a punch. Yeah, this stream. So Floris does get that second place back and to get to do another lap. Frequency's off the track and not looking good to get another lap in on this one. If it's waiting for all these cars to go by. Rotary, I don't think any of these are going to get a run, are they? Someone's crossing the line. Oh, there you go, I've got him. Tuwu crosses the line. He does go faster, but he does not beat Splash. Someone else crossing the line. It's not you. It was not you. It was Fred Dude. He didn't go any faster. Excuse me, I've got a cough. Harry Mop is working his way around. I'm sticking with this one. Oh, he's got damage. Why am I sticking with him? Fred Dude's done. Maranello has just crossed the line. He didn't go any faster. Floris then. Floris still on a run. Can he take a lap? Melvin's on a run. Big Mama has just gone faster. We'll have a look at the grid for this start as Floris hangs it out on that corner. Where is Melvin? Melvin's chasing him up. Frequency has done for the day. Nano Maranello has done. Harry Mop has done. Fred Dude's on a lap as well. And we've got Melvin and Floris right close together. Then we have Fred Dude. Someone else is out there as well. Tuwu. So we've got Floris on his final attempt. He's second place. He needs to find 3/10 to pip Melvin. And he's chugging along. He's used those tyres up. I don't know how he's driving that. Audi. He doesn't go any faster. Melvin doesn't go any faster. Then was it Fred Dude? It's someone ahead of Fred Dude. It's Tuwu, who's in 9th place, looking for a 10th to get ahead of Splash. 1.6 seconds would be grand, but I don't think he's going to find that, or he would have already found it. And there he goes. Tuwu over the line. Goes faster, doesn't change his position. Fred Dude goes faster, and he doesn't change his position. So, phew, wowzers. So Melvin on pole with Floris in second place. Frequency will be starting in the McLaren in third. Rotary in fourth. Fred Dude is fifth. Nano and Maranello sixth. Harry Mop is seventh. Splash is eighth. Ninth is Tuwu. 2082. 2082. That's interesting. Storm Pacer is 10th, sorry, and 11th for Big Mama. 1.8 seconds off of Storm Pacer in that big, fat Mercedes and the sleek Chevy. 1.1 seconds off of Tuwu, who was only 600ths at 2.0, who was only 600ths of a second off of Splash, who was a 10th off of Harry Mop. And then we had Nano Marinello, only 400ths off of Fred Dude. Very tight there. Fred Dude was only 400ths off of Rotary. Very tight qualifying out there. It was going to be a tight race. 800ths for Frequency against Floris. And Floris, 3/10 is really Melvin had any kind of benefit in this whole race. He's So let's see if we can have a quick look at this before he clicks the button. Melvin on pole, Floris in second. Then we got Frequency in third, Rotary fourth, Fred Dude fifth, Nano Marinello starting in sixth, Harry Mop seventh, Splash in eighth. Then we have 2.0 in ninth, 10th for Storm Pacer, and then 11th the Canadian Big Mama. Right. That's all right. I was quicker than him. And we are now warmed up nicely. Does that look grey? It always looks grey and crap, though, doesn't it? It does look like rain there, though. That would be awful for them, wouldn't it? Because it was dry all through qualifying. Then if they come out onto track, it's just maybe just a little gloomy looking. Who knows? I've been burnt, man. I've been burnt by wet races. That wet random thing doesn't happen for 1,000 miles, and then suddenly it starts at the beginning of a race with no warning whatsoever. It looks all right. I can't hear that horrible sound. So Melvin ahead of Floris. It's the M6 versus the Audi. It's an all-German front row with the McLaren and the Genesis just tucked up behind. How will that turn one look? And they're going to be going at some speed. They're going to have very cold tyres, and who knows what tyres they're starting on. And I have seen before in these races that first corner can be an absolute cluster fud. I am telling you. And we might, I don't know what their red flag situation is here. Maybe we can spend a third of the race under safety car. Nice one, FIA. That was thrilling this afternoon. I was on the edge of my seat. So, spectate, and what is it? No, it's just a bit misty. Let's not get carried away with ourselves, okay? It's just looking a little overcast. Now, they have in their cars the ability to see. They see everything. So, looking at the grid then, they got a weather warning is what I mean. Was there a roll at the back there? I think Big Mama might have jumped the start a bit. So as a slow start, Melvin, it's a straight drag race all the way, and the Audi cannot get its arse off of the grid and is swamped by Rotary and the Genesis of Frequency. Full Throttle Racing and Stossilla getting a march on Garage 18, and also Nano Marinello in the Corvette. Getting a good one on the go. Floris at the moment floundering. They're on the medium tyres. Does that make a difference? Mediums. No. The BMW's on soft, sorry. So then we have a Rotary rising in that Genesis X. Cracking start from him up to second, with Nano Marinello now up into third place. Somebody stop him. And Frequency into fourth. Floris fifth. Fred Dude sixth in the Gen. Then we got Harry Mop in the BMW in seventh, Splash eighth. In, I don't know what he's driving. He's driving a Merc, sorry. 2.0 is in the Aston Martin, trying to slow it down as we have Big Mama and Storm Pacer banging doors for that final position. And at the moment, Storm Pacer is occupying said position. Melvin, meanwhile, 1.8 seconds ahead of Rotary. He's on the soft tyres, remember, and these guys, their tyres probably still not warmed up yet. Still not the grip they need. Frequency there in the McLaren, and there's a long straight here, which I think the McLaren might be at a disadvantage, but the twisty bits should really work in their favour, and Frequency, we've seen, can really look after a set of tyres to the max. So Melvin is the man. He's going to be ripping through those tyres. He's got to rabbit it. He's got to go. He's got to grab it. He's got to get as big a distance between him and the rest of the field as possible to make those soft tyres come into play. It's going to be a short sprint. Frequency. Then we were down to Floris in the Audi. Slow off the line was the Audi and lost a lot of places. Harry Mop in the 6th place BMW, and he's being chased down by Fred Dude. We've got an off at the back. We've got an off at the back. It's Big Mama, Big Mama, Big Mama. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you, Big Mama, Big Mama? What you gonna do? Floor it. Melvin then 3 seconds. Rotary cannot live with that speed, but he shouldn't have to with the medium tyres. He's just got to worry about the Corvette behind him. The Corvette having a wiggle through the wiggly bit. And Frequency looking very planted in the McLaren. It's looking very comfortable there. Let's get on board. No, we're not getting on board. Yes, we are, finally. So on board with Frequency then. This is what he sees. And he's just trying to get to the back of, I imagine wants to stay with the Corvette, although the McLaren a little down on straight line speed. Might be struggle to try and get a tow and a draft. He's got to do it in the wiggly bits, hasn't he? So there's just no room for a McLaren to fit next to that Chevy through here. Oh, lovely opening gap in the middle there. Can he just, oh, not quite. The laws of gravity, the physics. Oh, a big wiggle at the top of the hill for Frequency there as the car lost all feeling for him as he went over the hump. And again, cruising it through the apex of those final corners. Just not quite as close to Nano Maranello as he probably would have liked. He's got Floris only 6/10 behind him, and that must look rather scary. Oh, it's not too bad actually. Melvin, 4.4 seconds. Rotary going wide. He keeps it together, but he's got Nano Maranello right there, and he's got a bit of mud on those wheels, which is going to come to feeling when you see him sliding into that corner. He felt it. Felt those dirty tyres, didn't you, you dirty boy? Then Nano Maranello is very close Frequency, and then the Audi. This is delicious. Let's get on board with the Audi, and oh, Nano Maranello looking like he's got to wiggle out of that corner, trying to get the throttle down on the floor, and I imagine still a very huge lack of grip for them guys out there, because there's no sun to speak of. It's all overcast, all grey, so I imagine that track is pretty chilly, my brethren. And there they go around the hairpin, nice and neat from Floris. He's 1.8 seconds ahead of Harry Mop, who is still ahead of the Gen X of Fred Dude, and he's followed by Splash in 8th. Leading this race at the moment is Melvin for the SBR, Sober Motorsports, SBM. And you see, it's just tantalising. You feel there's going to be some action with Nano Maranello and Frequency anytime soon. It's just in the air. You can feel it's coming. So Frequency then trying to catch a march. He's closer down the straight this time. Closer down the straight. Does he have it though? Can that McLaren live with the Chevy down the straight? It doesn't look like. I mean, we're getting a tow, but it's not helping him. 2/10. He's lining him up on the inside, but he's too far back. Thinks better of it and hopes Nano Maranello has a nightmare, but he doesn't. He gets through sweet as a nut. And then Rotary leading that pack of medium runners as Melvin extends that BMW's lead to 6.5 seconds. Unbelievable stuff. Let's have a look at Harry Mop and Fred Dude. Harry Mop's still there with Fred Dude, only 4/10, but now we've got Splash in the mix, and just behind him is 2-0 in the Aston Martin. Now the Aston Martin on softs, Splash on mediums, Fred on mediums, and so is Harry Mop. And we've got two little mini races going on. What's happening down here? Storm Pacer, 5 seconds adrift of those guys. He's on medium tyres with Big Mama, a further 12.5 seconds back on the medium tyres, but remember, they did have a humongous off, like that one. Melvin doing the fastest lap of the race so far, And Rotary still ahead of Nano Maranello, who now has pulled away from Frequency, and Frequency is in some real danger here. Some real danger from the Audi down the straight. We know the Audi is all balls and scrunt. Not great in a corner, but man alive, you open her up on a straight and she will teach you speed. And there they come. He's staying, Flores staying, the Dutchman staying very close to the Finnish driver. Frequency, here we go, down the straight. This is where I expect the Audi to absolutely destroy the McLaren. Has not, though, has not. Very good. Hey, that makes me the distribution of power is working quite well out there at the moment. But Flores looking like it's when, not if. And Harry Mop there, Fred Dude, half a second, but Fred Dude's got to keep himself honest because he's got Splash all up in his busyness. And I still haven't told you the table. It's just because I don't know the teams that well. I can't, I'd go through them. Oh, that's just being lazy. Yeah, we're having a moment here. Let's do the table. Let's do the table now. Be a great time, you know. 5 laps into the race. It's when you do talk about the table. So Speedbots and Motorsport are at the front on 96 points. They're at the front of this race as well. Stasila Racing in second on 89 points. So only 7 points adrift. And Stasila Racing is in fourth at the moment. Then we have Clockwork Motorsport Vertex in third on 56 points. And I believe that is Harry Mop. No, Vertex. Vertex will be the Chevy of Storm Pacer, I believe. Then we have Garage 96 in fourth in the championship on 50 points, 6 points behind CWM. And they're currently in this race fourth or fifth. But it might have changed, you know, because they were close, weren't they? Frequency is fourth still. Flores then hasn't able to get by. Harry Mop still staying ahead of Fred Dude with Splash right on the case. Tuo as well, or Tuo, has got himself mildly involved in this race. He's taken a mild interest in what may be happening here. So in sixth we have Scuderia Chiara with 38 points. 7th is AXR with 36 points. 8th is Full Throttle Racing with 34 points. 9th is AequepaX Racing on 33 points. 10th is the Humble Guys Race Team Finland, sorry, on 22 points. And Chiara Corsa on 14 points. But I can't quite remember who's with what team. I've got a hot beverage here. I'm just going to have a little sip of. We're 10 minutes in. I think I am eligible for that now. Melvin's tyres starting to get a little ratty around the edges. I think you can still drive quite well on tyres looking like that. But still, they're halfway there, aren't they? Has he got damage now? Rotary maintained that gap from Nano Maranello, who is now back in the danger zone of Frequency. And Flores, the double Fs, are ganging up on the Chevy at the moment. The Chevy, well, using its tyres as well. Rotary, yeah. The medium tyres using up just as well. No, their Frequency, yeah, I'll tell you what. One day, I'm going to get a massage off of one of them guys, because if they can massage like they look after them tyres, that is going to be heavenly. Like butterflies, just walking on your back. Flores then in the Audi in fifth. Harry Mop hasn't let that gap grow, has he, between Flores and himself? Flores last time around did a 46.6 with Harry Mop doing a 46.8. Well, it's a bit slower, come on. Fred Dude slipping back with a 47.1. He's in the 47 suddenly. Is he conserving fuel? Is he thinking, no, because he's got less fuel than Harry Mop. Splash all up and in his business. Into team this is. 2 AXR guys. If Splash feels like he's being impeded or slowed down, he'll be on the radio. He'll be on the radio saying, get that blooming Gen X out of my way. 2-0, very close. 2-0, sorry. Very close to fighting the guys ahead. He's in ninth, but I mean, really, this is quite a close race up and down the field. Storm Pacer 12 seconds adrift now of a 2-0, but 19 seconds ahead of Big Mama. 9.5 seconds for Melvin so far here at Autopolis for the AXR Global World Endurance Championship, GT3 World Endurance Championship. I do so many of these, I forget what I'm doing. Yeah, it's a World Endurance Championship, Season 2. It's round 3, race 1. You're here with Thingamajig, and I'm making no sense whatsoever. I've tried to water down some Red Bull that's sugar-free and tasted horrible with whiskey to see if that would help, but it's just made it taste like sugar-free whiskey, which is awful. But I'm cracking on. I'm cracking on with it. We'll try. And I'm trying to get a hot beverage down my gullet as well. And Melvin's leading. That's what you're really interested in. And there's action. Frequency's done something. Frequency's done something, and something's still happening here. So let's have a look. Down into the first corner, on the toe, up the inside, the McLaren goes, and wowzers, man alive. Oh, and through Nano Maranello out wide. Was that a Russell Verstappen style move? You can decide, but it looked clean to me. I don't think there was contact. I think Nano Maranello just licked it too hard, sent it too far. Flores, though, all up and in Frequency's business, and a Rotary, meanwhile, just doing what he needs to do to stay ahead of the group. Melvin's going to huff and puff and burn those tyres out. He'll be in the pits in no time, although Melvin's tyres that way. Yeah, they're getting to the end there. Excuse me, I shouldn't cough in the microphone. That's really unprofessional of me, and I do apologise to you all. Frequency in third place after that move on Nano Maranello, who now has to find, well, you can see why. Look, Frequency and Flores both looking after their tyres absolutely deliciously, where Nano Maranello has had to lean on that grip quite a lot in this race. And now Nano Maranello is paying the price as Melvin is on them soft tyres. He is in. He's in. He's got half a tank of fuel. We're 15 minutes into this 1.5 hour race. It's a 3-hour race in total. You'll get another stream. Will you, though? Or will the dude just snooze in? No, that's not what happened. It was technical issues. Officially. Sorry, Stiggs. I didn't mean to drop you there. So, Melvin's pitted. He's come back out. He's come back out in 6th place. Racing softs again. No fuel. No fuel, sir. No extra fuel. So, still half a tank for Melvin. And he's breaking this race into lots of 15-minute stints. That's going to be a big one, isn't it? Lots of 15-minute stints. He's going to get bored of that pit lane. It is a short pit lane, though. Oh no, Shadow letting us know in the chat that Melvin has no mediums in his inventory. Lol. So yeah, he's got to go softs. He's got to go soft. I mean, he can go hard, but that's going to be difficult. Very difficult. So Melvin then has to break this down into very short stints, and it's going to cost him a fortune in tyres. Rotary, meanwhile, though, 4 tenths in the lead. Frequency really has turned up the frequency. Yeah, he's Frequency in that bad boy. He's tuning in. I can't think of any others. He's transmitting on another level. He's turning up the dial. Please excuse me, I've got to take my jumper off. I haven't brought any charging things with me, and everything's running out in front of my very eyes. I don't need that anyway. I can do this rough shot, old fashioned. Just give me a TV and a mic, and I'll spit. Like, no, I can't go and change my bloody jumper because Frequency's going to do it again. Up the inside of the Gen X, and wowzers. Oh, drip me down, honey. That was beautiful. Frequency takes the lead in the same fashion he took second place, but can he? Because the Gen X is not having a bolt of it and comes back. But no, the McLaren has the teeth to stay ahead of a Rotary, and Rotary full throttle racing now has to think of the Audi, and it's the tyres again. It's the tyres. You've got to get yourself in there, Rotary. Get those tyres sorted. Even the mediums, he's going to have to go hard, isn't he? Harry Mop, 2.5 seconds behind this battle, and he's got Melvin only a second. Melvin has got to do a lot of qualifying laps today to make up for a few pit stops. Could he not afford a set of mediums then, or is it just he didn't have any? He just doesn't do mediums. Oh, spinner! Spin me up, baby! It's Rotary. Oh, poor Rotary, them tyres. He asked too much from the tyre. Here we go. We can see his shame. And it's just a late on the brake. Goes wide. Oh, no, no, no. That is not good. That is not good. I instantly regret the replay. Yeah, he was knocked. He was knocked. The Audi gave him absolutely no room. Now, we do know it happens a blooming lot where, you know, you think cars are going to ghost. You really would assume they'd be ghosting. And that's probably what Flores thought there. Probably thought that's going to be ghosted. And it turned out it wasn't ghosted. And Rotary found himself a little spin around there. Oh, poor Rotary. It's not what he needs for his race, but he's going to go into the pits. And just don't be angry. Don't be angry, my love. Frequency leads ahead of Flores. But Flores might be having a trip to the stewards. And they're a scary bunch. And Melvin in third. And well, I've got to take my jumper off, man. It's so hot. Give me a sec. Oh, look, it's another overtaking bloody thing, isn't it? When I want to get de-dressed, or undressed, as most people say. See, that bloke who was moaning about the way I was pronouncing their team can't even speak English. And this is a cracking race. Melvin's really giving Flores the do-over. He really is. He says, hey, man, if you can dish it out, then I'm sure you can take it. Hang on. Taking my jumper off to reveal another jumper, because it was ice skating this morning. I haven't de-dressed yet. Undressed, sorry. There's no such thing as de-dressed. Maybe de-dress should be a new thing. We should start it. A movement. Undressed, it hurts me, it triggers me. It's like making it less, and we should de-dress, which isn't less, it's just like undressing, but not. I don't know. We'll work out the phonetics. Frequency then leading this gloriously, whilst Flores is having to deal with a whole lot of Melvin with soft tyres, and Melvin zips on by, zippity-doo-dah, zippity-a. My oh my, what a wonderful day. Melvin then into second place with Flores there. More pit stops, 2-0. And them soft tyres have given up the ghost 4-2-0 with Splash. Splash was in a race with Fred Dude. Fred Dude must have already earlier on made a pit stop, and he's ahead of Rotary after Rotary's little spin. Harry Mop has already made a pit stop and has moved up into 5th place. And Nano Maranello has pitted and is chasing down Flores, who hasn't pitted. Melvin has pitted, only 5 seconds behind Frequency, whom has not pitted, but I would assume Frequency will take that car all the way to the flashing fuel gauge, as will Flores. Well, Flores is getting through those tyres though, maybe not, but fuel is doing very well in the Audi. Nano Maranello then makes a pit stop in 4th, loses no positions. Not bad, not bad. Still might catch Flores out when he pits. Harry Mop in 5th for Clockwork Racing. And the American doing very well at the moment. He's made a pit stop. I don't know if he fueled up though. It's not a lot of fuel in there. He has. When did he make that pit stop? It must have been this lap. Whoa, big wiggle coming out of the hairpin there. Rotary, we saw having a moment with Flores. Well, having a moment and then another moment with Flores straight after, as he was trying to return back to track, or when he was halfway on the track. So Rotary then jumped into the pits. He's put soft tyres on. He's going to try and make a bit of ground up. He's not even fueled up either. So that, I don't think, was part of the plan. And I think Rotary has changed the tactics. With Fred Dude now in the Gen X on the mediums, half a tank of fuel, not too far. I mean, they're not going to fuel right up, obviously, because the tyres were dying before the fuel. So now why run on a heavy car when you don't need it? You're going to be going in. So yeah, when they pit, they're not going to fill it right up because the tyres don't last the whole fuel tank. So hard tyres probably would, but no one wants to use them because they're so damn slow. Storm Pacer then 17.7 seconds behind Splash. He's made a pit stop. He's got medium tyres on. He needs some mistakes happening up ahead of him really to get something into this fight. And Big Mama just gone their fastest of the race so far. They've got a set of racing softs on and they're having a bit of fun, the Canadian. And there we have Frequency in the lead. Like I said, I think he's just going to keep on going till that fuel tank runs dry, and so will Melvin on those soft tyres. Floris meanwhile may have to come in a little earlier than the fuel tank lets them. They had a couple of rough laps there, 49 and a 48, but they're back on it with a 47.5. Melvin already through with a 44.6. He's on it with the soft tyres. Nano and Maranello with his mediums, 46ers. He will catch up Floris at this rate. 13 seconds behind Floris. And I think Floris will pit before that comes about. And Nano and Maranello then in fourth with Herimop in fifth. Only just ahead of Rotary. Rotary on the soft tyre as well, remember. Rotary is going to be absolutely racy. Fancy in this one is a Rotary. 2 secs. So sat on board with Rotary as he closes in on Harry Mop. And this is a tense battle here. Soft tyres versus medium tyres. And it's not going to be long, I think, before Rotary manages to get his man as he goes in really late on the brakes. He's got to have missed that one. Oh my jeez. Yeah, sorry Rotary man, you're really late on those brakes, dude. Oof. Was you listening to me? Don't listen to me when you race. That's the wrong thing to do. Frequency then leads 6/10. Melvin has closed that gap up with his soft tyre strategy. Fast and pit often. It's going to be a long hour and a half for him. 15 minutes was his moment before. Looks like he might go a little further. Remember, a lighter car because he didn't fuel up. So he might be able to go a little further in his second stint, trying to get a move on Frequency there. Frequency sitting in the middle of the road and says, well, pick a side. And Melvin says, oh, Melvin nearly does. Goes a little sideways, then he's around the outside, but it puts him on the inside for the hairpin. And bish, bash and bosh. Melvin back in the lead again. Beautiful stuff. Frequency in second. But his tyres are giving way now, as Floris's are. Floris has given up the ghost, haven't they? What did he do last time? 48.1, 48.2. I mean, he's definitely miles off his glory days of 46ers in that Audi. 9 seconds adrift of Frequency at the moment, and Nano Maranello, who was 12 seconds behind him, has closed down to 10 seconds. I thought it'd be closer. But it's most certainly less than a pit stop. So Floris definitely going to be away behind Nano Maranello. Harry Mop, meanwhile, doing a cracking job. Is he catching up Maranello? 46.7. Nano Maranello, 46.6. Nothing in it, guys. Rotary, he got the fastest lap. 44.6 before he made that humongous mistake. And Fred Dude, the Gen X, I know Fred Dude is a fast mother son of a gun, so I'm just putting it down to he's not come together with the Genesis X, the Hyundai. They've got loads of adverts now. They've done adverts in England to tell us how to say the bloody name, so they don't want to be called the other one yet. I think the Hyundai is what they don't want to be called. Is it Hyundai they want to be called? Hyundai, by the way. Hyundai, by the way. Yeah, not even telling you what cars they've got. They're just like, someone wants to buy a car and he keeps saying Hyundai, and they say high and dry. Barbers in Coventry, and he's like, no, Hyundai. And then they say something else, and then they say, oh, do you mean the car manufacturer, Hyundai? It's like, well, Hyundai. But if you have to do an advert about how you say your name, don't name yourself something ridiculous. Call yourself something like Vauxhall. Because Opal's really difficult. Right then, Melvin out there in first place. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. 3.3 seconds ahead of Frequency, whose tyres are screaming out, Daddy, let us go, let us go. Floris then, his tyres are gone, is skating around in third place with Nano Maranello pushing on hard, but he went 47.0. He doesn't want to drop time like that on Floris. It's down to 9 seconds though. He'll be seeing that time dropping. Harry Mop has got company again. He goes, oh, here we go again. He's here, but Rotary needs a pit stop. Rotary, you probably could have done with a splash. Although he's used those tyres up, hasn't he? He's grabbed himself fastest lap. I don't know what else he's really gained out of that stint. It was, he's burned through those tyres pretty quick. I think he's lost more time than what he gained, really. Well, we'll see. Who am I to question such strategistic minds as Rotary? And Melvin then carries on as the rest of the field decide this is the time to make a pit. And Nano Maranello probably should have come in with the other guys because he's used up his fuel, but he's continued on. Harry Mop's good to go. Rotary needs to go in for fuel. And look at Harry Mop. Hey, let's not ignore the fact that Harry Mop is in the shout, isn't he? Look at him. Frequency comes out with a fresh set of soft tyres. He's gone bold. He's gone bold, people. I think Melvin may be forcing these guys to use softs because of his pace. Nano Maranello needs a pit stop soon, so Frequency will go back into second. Harry Mop has been the impressive one in this first 30 minutes of this 1.5 hour race. We're 1/3 into the race. That's how long that super huge, brilliant, new, shiny sprint race for Formula One went today. We only got 2/3 of a race. What's the point of it? 10 laps? 11 laps, I think. Safety car for 6. I don't want to give you spoilers, but what a load of So Fred Dude is being caught by 2-0. Where's Splash? Splash, Splash. Splash, my man. He was right there with Fred Dude, but he's out of sequence, is he? He's doing good lap times. He's on the medium tyres. He's doing 46s. There's Floris right down in 7th. Things have not gone well for him after his pit stop either, I tell thee. 2-0 has come through like a knight in shining armour, and Fred Dude won't know what to do with him. Melvin's back in. Melvin's in again for his 15-minute stint. Fun time at Autopolis, as Nano Maranello may lead this race if he decides to take it around for another lap. He's got the meat on the tyres. Has he got the fuel in the tank? I guess not. So Frequency easily back into the lead of this race, but for how long? Until no, Melvin's out, Melvin's out, Melvin's out, Melvin's leaving the pits, and he's done it, by George. But Frequency is ever catching him up, and we haven't even thought about the weather. It's still grey, it's still murky, and I don't know, no one's put tyres on, so it looks like it's just about ready to rain. Harry Mop then up into third. 2-0 is in fourth, with Fred Dude now in fifth, chasing 2-0 down. I think Fred Dude just got overtaken by 2-0, if I'm honest with myself. I think 2-0 was behind Fred Dude. Floris then 6th place. The Audi has dropped like a brick. Splash also 7th. Nano Maranello comes out of the pits with a set of medium tyres on in 8th place. Is this good? I don't know. Splash, let's have a look. Splash, he's you know what I mean, he's not far into his stint, and he's ahead of Nano Maranello by 1.6 seconds. Floris is ahead of Nano Maranello, and he's got loads of fuel on board. He's going for another long one. That's why he's dropped so far back. He had a long pit stop, fueling up. Fred Dude's made a mistake. Fred Dude has made an absolute whoopsie in one of these corners. I should know the turns. Turn 45. As he comes up to it here, chasing down 2-0. Onto the brakes. Oh, he clipped 2-0 as well, but it doesn't look like it affected 2-0. And it didn't affect Fred Dude that too much either. He seemed to get out of that quite nicely, wasn't he? So, not too bad. Fred Dude ready for a pit stop though. Melvin back out in the lead. 3 seconds on Frequency. Frequency's on the soft tyre. Cannot live with the BMW's pace. Unbelievable. It's same. It's even Stevens between the two cars. Racing softs and half a tank. Melvin's had to deal with a colder set of tyres, with him coming out just on that last lap, but he's pulled away from Frequency. Great stuff. Harry Mop, the surprise of the day, who we're guessing for Clockwork Motorsports in the BMW, up into 3rd. And is it raining? Was that wipers? I don't want to be alarmist, you know. 2-0 in 4th place. Floris now in 5th. Where has Fred Dude gone? He must have pitted. Splash in 6th with 7th Nano Maranello. Then we have Rotary in 8th. Rotary has made another visit to the pits, and he's 5.5 seconds behind Nano Maranello, with Fred Dude 9 seconds adrift, just making a pit stop. And now he's behind Rotary, 9 seconds. Rotary, yeah, it's so tight out there. It's so tight. Storm Pacer for Clockwork Motorsport. Apex there, I believe they're Apex. No, they might be Vertex, actually. No, they're Vertex. I think it's the Beamer that's the Apex team. Meanwhile, Storm Pacer in 10th, and probably a lap ahead of Big Mama. There's Big Mama just being lapped by a Nano Maranello. And I'm telling you, if it's not gonna rain, then it's cruel, man, because look how close it looks to raining. It's Frequency. These guys don't want it to rain. They've just pitted. They'd rather it rain just before the end of a stint, not right now. They're saying, shut up, commentator, don't talk about rain. But it looks so gloomy. It just looks gloomy as hell. I mean, I don't have a weather radar, and I did do a race for another group. It was a bit obvious. About 3 people came in and put intermediate tyres on, and I thought, I wonder if it's going to rain soon. So these guys, they know where the weather is, and if they're putting on mediums and softs and such what, they know there is no rain coming just yet. The drivers will let us know if rain is coming. So Melvin then 3.5 seconds ahead of Frequency. And this is going to be an interesting race between himself and Frequency, I believe, with Melvin having to make many pit stops and go like the clappers, where Frequency is just chilling on, doing less pit stops, and they do seem to keep coming across each other after a couple of pit stops. Then we got Harry Mop. Don't know how he's done it. Head down, cracked on. That's what he's done, son. And he's in 3rd place at the moment, with 2-0 in 4th. Same ideal in the Aston Martin as Harry Mop. Just kept his head on, cracked on. Floris, who went for heavy fuel and has been put back a couple of positions, really would have seen them ahead of Harry Mop and 2-0 ordinarily, but I think, well, even that, he's 6 seconds, but he's got a heavy car with medium tyres, and I think they're both on softs ahead of him. I say that, I don't know. No, Harry Mop's on mediums, but he's on a very light car. 2-0 is on softs. He's lighter than Floris, and I think the weight does make a big deal out here, you know. So Floris just cracking on, waiting for everyone to pit ahead of him. Splash has got Maranello now. Maranello waking up in this race, realising he was in a podium position earlier, and somehow, as it's all washed out, he's down in 7th place, out of position. I mean, it is a lot of strap going on out there. Harry Mop's in. That's going to restore the order a little bit, with a Rotary just about to put a lap on Big Mama, and Fred Dude, he's dropped away from Rotary after his pit stop. Has he had another pit stop? 2:01. A couple of bad laps from Fred Dude, it seems. So Harry Mop has come in, and where's he ending up? Harry Mop out. He's put in a fair whack of fuel, not a full whack, a fair whack. And he's gone for racing mediums, and he's behind Rotary and ahead of Fred Dude. It's very surprising what's happened to Fred Dude there. I think he's had a couple of issues. Maybe no, maybe not. Maybe his pit stop. But Harry Mop some 7.1 seconds ahead. And so far, I haven't seen those big, ugly, red 3-second things. So they're all getting in and out of the pits quite delightfully. Melvin then leads this race, racing soft tyres, half a tank of fuel. He's just taken the fastest lap of the race, is a 44.256 for your interest. And then Frequency in second, but he's going the long route, less pit stops. And that's how he's racing the BMW today in that McLaren. 2-0 in third place. Something flying around me, for heaven's sakes. 2-0 yet to pit. Wow. 2-0 is yet to pit. But he's got a bit of fuel on. Tyres are dead. And Flores back up into fourth place. Still with a lot of tyre left on his car. And 3/4 of a tank of fuel. That Audi is not pitting for a while yet. Then Nano Maranello coming back to the race. Only 3 seconds behind Flores and catching rather swiftly. He's got a bit of a lighter car and maybe not fuel saving as much as Flores. Splash only a second behind Nano Maranello. So it's all closed up quite nicely. Then we've got Rotary only 3 seconds behind them and 3.5 seconds ahead of Harry Mop, who's only just pitted. And Fred Dude 7.5 seconds adrift of those guys, with Storm Pacer in the Corvette in 10th and Big Mama in 11th. Still getting those faster lap times. Interesting stuff then. Flores, Nano Maranello, Splash. I'm not sure about Rotary, possibly Rotary, who knows. All in with a shout of that podium position. I think Frequency and Melvin have got the top 2 positions locked out. We're not even halfway through the race, but it looks like these two. I mean, 21 seconds from 2-0 for Frequency. It's about 20 seconds for a pit stop, but 2-0's got to pit before Frequency, where Flores isn't pitting anywhere near where Maranello will probably have to go in before Flores at this rate. Splash is going to be in any second, and that'll probably put him back down with Fred Dude, who he was racing earlier. They were all racing each other, weren't they? Harry Mop, Splash and Fred Dude. So Splash will be into the pits, and so will 2-0. 2-0 deciding this is the time. His tyres are pretty gone, and that puts Nano and Maranello back up into fourth. Only 2.3 seconds. He's catching Flores at a rate of knots. And we've got Splash also pitting. We said Splash would pit, and Fred Dude wanting to see some action soon, and it puts him ahead of both Splash and 2-0. So cracking stuff. 2-0 though just reappearing from the pit lane somewhere behind Fred Dude as he tries to slow his car down in turn 1. And there is the Aston Martin of the Finnish driver, 2-0. And I think they're the humble guys, Racing Team Finland. Meanwhile, Melvin, 4 seconds ahead of Frequency. He's not ranking away like he did at the beginning of the race. Frequency, in all fairness, is on soft tyres and isn't allowing him to. And this is where I'm wondering if Frequency's adjusted his strategy somewhat. Because he was on the mediums and Melvin on the softs. I don't know if he's altered to stay with Melvin, because they really have left Flores behind. And I know they'll be pitting before Flores. but even so, I think they'll be back out of the pits ahead of Flores, and then Flores will be close to his pit stop. Maranello, obviously pitting before Flores also. And Rotary having to turn his racer right around. I said I wasn't sure of the aim of that very short stint on softs that he did after he had a coming together with Flores. And I haven't seen much of anything in the chat, so you guys obviously don't have much of an opinion on the situation. But Rotary doing okay. He's fifth. He's 5 seconds behind Nano Maranello, with a similar fuel load and a similar tyre. Well, tyre wears a bit more. But I think we've seen Rotary likes to lean on those tyres rather heavily, and did wear them out earlier on in the race. Hairy Mop still there in about 9 seconds ahead of Dude. I thought it was closer than that, but Fred Dude not happy with that at Gen X, I reckon. And 2-0, 5 seconds behind him. Splash, 5 seconds behind 2-0. 5-0. Storm Pacer, 42 seconds behind Splash on the Racing Mediums. Half a tank of fuel, and just keeping it real, y'all. And Big Mama coming in, bringing in the Merc for a little top up of fuel and new boots, and they're back out again, ready to kick names and take ass. Melvin then 2.8 seconds. Did Melvin make a mistake? And he's coming across a lapped car, but frequency has really, he's pulled in about half a second or a second on him. It was 4 seconds, wasn't it? A 46.5 for Melvin on that last lap. Frequency at 45.0, so 1.5 seconds on Melvin there, and Melvin's coming across a lapped car. Oops, sorry, pulled away the wrong time. Shocking. So Melvin 3 seconds, and he's getting stuck behind the Corvette. He's going for the inside move. The Corvette giving space, I believe, but still not lifting and making it extremely easy for Melvin. And that's Melvin threading it through. There was no contact, so it's all fair. And frequency now 2.6 seconds behind. Not much grip left in those tyres, mate, is there? There could be, though. He really pushed. Flores on his epic run, his epic stint, is easily being caught by Nano and Maranello. Now, I made the bold statement that Nano Maranello will be pitting before he catches Flores up, and I might be wrong, you know. He's got it down to less than 2 seconds. Rotary 5.5 seconds behind. Oh, look, the sun's back out now. I said it was going to rain. Hairy Mop 0.8 behind Rotary. So Hairy Mop, has he lost? No, he's gone faster, so he's catching up with Rotary at this point in the race. Fred Dude 10 seconds behind, and 2.08 behind Fred Dude. On board with Hairy Mop in the BMW M6, chasing down Rotary. I think Rotary's tyres are definitely shot, and his fuel is a little lighter than we are in Hairy Mop's car. Hairy Mop could be looking for a podium. He was up there. Whoa, he didn't expect Rotary being that slow in the corner, and he's had to back out of this one, really back out of it, and let Rotary get on his way before he comes back. The Yank, the American, Hairy Mop. Well, I say American, it's what the flag says, but I found out we've got someone who's got a Finnish flag, and they're Latvian. I'll have to double check that. And that was Rotary into the pits then, and the Hairy Mop moves up, and yeah, it was tyres there, wasn't it, for Rotary. Melvin, meanwhile, only 2 seconds ahead of Frequency. Frequency is absolutely matching the German driver. And yeah, Melvin's tyres starting to go away from him as well. And that can only help Frequency, who really does look after a set of tyres on that McLaren. Flores back up into third and still ahead of Nano Maranello. In fact, Nano Maranello has lost a bit of time and his fuel is flashing, and then I can gloat that I was correct, that he wasn't going to get past him before he needed a pit stop, which is what I said. And then I took it back, but now I'm saying it again, that I was right in the first place and I didn't mean to take it back. I just got excited. Melvin's into the pits. Melvin's into the pits. Frequency has stayed out. Interesting stuff. Flores 30 odd seconds behind that shenanigans, and he's not going to get himself involved. Melvin's going to be out before Flores gets there. And is Maranello going to pop it into the pits before he caught Flores? I think he could have caught Flores. He could have had me eating my words. I think he must have made a small mistake. Well, his times don't say it. Look at that. Consistency is key. But yeah, Flores found some pace from somewhere. And near the end there, and that is Maranello putting it in into the pits in fancy fashion style. Like he handbraked it in. So Harry Mott moves back up into 4th place, and I can't tell you the order of the finishing. And Fred Dude now looking like he's going to get 5th place at this point, but there's still pit stops to make. They're all on different pit stops, which is really difficult. 2-0 seems to be okay. Half a tank of fuel, tyres just about bedded in 6th place behind Fred Dude, who will be pitting pretty soon. A lap, well, 2 laps at most. And Harry Mott, he's doing okay with a quarter of a tank of fuel, and he's 10 seconds ahead of Fred Dude, so not really in reach. But 2-0 and Fred Dude, interesting battle there. Nano Maranello back out the pits, half a tank of fuel, racing medium tyres again, and he's back at it. And he's got Splash not far behind. Splash similar fuel, well, just under, and medium tyres. So if he can latch onto the back of Maranello, oh, what was that? Some weird lag thing going on there. It looks like Splash is on a boat. Looks like he's floating around this track. Look, he has the grace of an angel to Splash whilst driving around the track. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. We're over halfway into this race now. We're 48 minutes in, and there's got 41 and a half minutes left. We're on lap 27, and whoa, Splash playing Risk with the curbs, and it pays off. I mean, he probably lost a bit of time to Nano Maranello, but it looked fancy, and we caught it on the stream, which is even better. So Frequency's got to be in at the end of this one. 21 seconds is the time his pit crew has to beat. He might short fill, you know, to try and get out in front of Melvin, because I think he's doing better with his fuel than Melvin is. Melvin's gone a little over halfway. He's nearly gone to 3/4 of a tank on this one. And Frequency, maybe if he short fills, could stay out in the lead. I don't know what he'd get from that track position in case there's a safety car. And Flores there in 3rd on his almighty long run. We should have checked when that pit stop was, because he's been going for hours now. He must be getting cold shoulder. Harry Mott in 4th, quarter of a tank of fuel, being chased by Fred Dude, who's got to go into the pits, which is great news for 2-0. And Nano Maranello on the way, and it's gone gloomy again, hasn't it? It really is thinking about it. He's thinking about it. And Rotary right in the action as well with Splash. And this is exciting stuff. 40 minutes to go, and I couldn't tell you. There's Frequency in then. So we'll watch Melvin. Will Frequency short fill it for no reason whatsoever, but just to stay out ahead of Melvin, just to get into Melvin's head? I doubt it. He's a real racer. Frequency's going to stick to his strategy. But Melvin is absolutely slinging that beamer. And the short, sharp shock strategy is working for Melvin at the moment into the lead. Frequency's team, look at him, just having a little wander there in front of the car. No rush whatsoever. And Frequency has gone a little more on the fuel as well. He's gone opposite of what I said to do. And Flores still not catching him up. I said they could both pit and get out before Flores catches them. Flores still with a lot of fuel on board though. Still a long way to go in this race. Flores in the Audi may still cause some mayhem. That's Rotary. Harry Mott then in 4th place, 2-0 in 5th. 2-0 is in danger of Maranello though. His tyres are a lot more used up than Nano Maranello. Maranello will be doing faster lap times as soon as he gets up to speed than 2-0. So the Chevy will be looking to get past the Aston Martin pretty soon. Splash is in the action too with Rotary. I can't believe how close all of these guys are together. And their fuels are not drastically different, are they? You've got 2-0 in 5th. He's 3.5 seconds ahead of Nano Maranello. Nano Maranello's on the mediums, and they're a lot more together. Similar fuel though, not far off. Splash, he's on a quarter of a tank of fuel getting through a set of mediums, but still 3.2 seconds ahead, behind Maranello. And then Rotary only 2 seconds behind Splash, and he's on better fuel and tyres. So there you go. I might have to take another layer off. I'm roasting here. I'm going to blame the whiskey. I'm going to blame the fire water. The old fire water with the sugarless bloody Red Bull in there. They should do an advert with Pele about sugar-free bloody Red Bull, because I imagine that's what it's like to have erectile dysfunction. So here we go. I took another layer off, if you're wondering. It's the fire water. It's burning me up. I'm getting a fever, and the only thing can solve it is cowbell. What's the crack? What's the crack, Alan? No one chatting. Oh, Melvin's gone. Melvin, the leader's gone. No, Kaz, you bastard. Kaz, you bastard, you killed Melvin. Yeah, I'm thinking that's Melvin in front. I'm thinking we might see him disappear. I don't know. I'm waiting. Is that Melvin? Maybe not. I've done a replay for no reason whatsoever. I thought we were just going to see that car blip out of existence. But no, not on this replay, we're not. Jeez, it's a long one, isn't it? Did he just blip and I missed it? Thanos. It was Thanos. No, he's still there. I don't know. He just got Thanos'd. So Melvin's lap time is with us in spirit, but he just went bye-bye. So Frequency is leading this race by 11 seconds, and now it's easy doors. I was saying we were going to have some tricky times up ahead between those two, and it's become all too easy with Melvin's sudden exit from the lobby. And Harry Mott goes into the pits to celebrate his third place by giving it to 2-0. Let's get out of there. And I was just about to moan that none of you lot are chatting to me in the YouTube chat, saying what's the matter with me? What have I done to upset you all? I can't do this on my own, guys. I'm only one man. I can't carry the whole show. I need input from you guys. I need material. So Frequency 12.2 seconds ahead of Floris, and guess what? It's got gloomy again, but no one's putting intermediate tyres on, so I imagine there is no rain on the way. 2-0 into third with Nano Maranello closing that gap quite drastically, and 2-0's tyres giving up away from him as a Nano Maranello pelts it in there. Rotary's got the move done on Splash fairly recently, I reckon. Let's have a look. No, they're just close together on track, possibly. Or I missed it. I tried, god damn it, I did try. And Splash tried as well to get one up the inside of Rotary there, but didn't quite get it. I can't remember who was ahead, I think. Ooh, windscreen wipers. Windscreen wipers, ladies and gentlemen. We have rain, and Frequency is not playing. He goes straight in, even though he's only just made a pit stop. Floris is not too bad for him, because he's probably around about wanting a pit stop anytime soon. Is he going to throw it in? Is this rain going to be long? Is it going to hang around? Floris, what are you going to do, lads? He's continuing on, you mad man. Nano Maranello is already up into the intermediate. The radar down in the bottom is, oh, there you go. Maranello, is Floris spinning yet? Floris, you crazy man. Frequency's already out on a wet set of tyres. Nano Maranello not there yet at the pit lane, and he's got 2-0 straight there. These two, oh, Nano Maranello's going in. 2-0 decides against it. Interesting. Now we've got yellow flags. That's Floris. Floris has done it. He's done it. He's dropped it. We knew it was going to happen. It's wet. It's wet. That was in a straight line in the Audi as well. My word. And this is crazy. They all should be coming in. 2-0 didn't, and he's off the track. Rotary hasn't. He's going to be off the track, I'll tell thee. Nano Maranello then comes back out with a set of inters. And there's yellow flags. Who's that? Rotary? 2-0. Floris? Who knows? It could be any number one of them. Nano Maranello's gone wise. He's gone intermediates. Hairy Mop's gone in. He's picked up a penalty while he's gone in. Fred Dude creeping around. He's miles away from the pits. Look, you can't even get your foot down. It might be very close to wet weather soon. And Storm Pacer as well. Hairy Mop then gets a set of wets on. It's still going to be damp on the way out. So be very careful there with the accelerator. Frequency leads this race on a wet set of tyres. Floris has got to tiptoe the whole way round. Nano Maranello already passing 2-0, who's tiptoeing. Rotary's tiptoeing. Hairy Mop is on the wet tyres. He's 25 seconds behind Rotary, who's tiptoeing in. Fred Dude's come in. He's clever. And Storm Pacer is miles away, trying to get out of the way. There's a whole gaggle of lapped cars. And Fred Dude in. Hairy Mop doing okay. Rotary crawling. 2-0 is crawling. And Nano Maranello's not crawling. He's trying to chase Floris, who's off the road. Floris is off the road again. And Nano Maranello, 14 seconds. Is that it? I thought he'd go down quicker than that. Floris is back on track, though. Moving along, 2-0. 9.5 seconds ahead of Rotary, and Rotary through there. 2-0 struggling totally. Someone's just had a huge off. Storm Pacer and Big Mama, not on the wet tyres yet, are struggling. Frequency got in just at the right time to get those wet tyres on. Nano Maranello's on the intermediate tyres, already past Floris, who's having to crawl to the pit lane. Hairy Mop on the wet tyres, 40 seconds behind Floris. Come on, Floris, you can still keep that third place if you're quick. Rotary and 2-0 both off. These had options. They had options. Floris, don't feel sympathy for Floris, Rotary or 2-0. They had the option to go in. They decided not to. Fred Dude is a minute behind them. They've still got their pit stop to do, and they've still got some wiggly parts of the track to get around. Nano Maranello on the intermediate tyres, and the intermediate tyres seems to be the right tyre at the moment for these guys. Frequency's getting around with it. It's an outlap. I can't tell until they start doing some true laps. Floris has finally made it to the pit lane. Hairy Mop is going to come through for third place. Go, you Beamer bad boy. Hairy Mop up into third place as Floris goes into the pits. Rotary trying to make his way there. He's dropped 2-0 like a bad smell. 2-0 really struggling with those used up softs. And Fred Dude, it was a minute. Now it's 30 seconds. Now it's 24 seconds. 22 seconds. It's like a NASA countdown. 2-0 struggling as Rotary finds... No. Rotary stayed out again, the mad man. And Floris has put a set of intermediates on. They must think the map says it's going to dry out. 2-0 staying out as well. Oh, we've got some heroes, have we? Got some heroes out there. Racing on dry tyres, used dry tyres in the wet. But it has stopped raining, it seems. It has stopped, so maybe they're onto a win. We won't know. Frequency, meanwhile, 44.2 second lead with just under 30 minutes left of this race. We've gone past the 1 hour mark. Let's salute 60 minutes. Hey, you. Maranello then trying to chase him down on a set of intermediate tyres, which really is the correct tyre. It is the correct tyre for this weather condition, as the radar says. So Nano Maranello will be trying to catch up Frequency and get himself his first win of the season for the AequepaX Racing GT World Endurance Championship Season 2. Hairy Mop doing a fantastic job, only 30 seconds behind Nano Maranello. Floris 23 seconds drift of Harry Mop. Rotary only 4 seconds behind him, living with the dry tyres. He's starting to carry on, but he's just not, the lap times are too slow. Look at Fred Dude. He was a minute behind 2-0, and now it's 5 seconds, and Fred Dude can really lean on those tyres. The thing is, you can barely race with a set of dry tyres in wet conditions, but these guys that got inters on and wets, they can continue when it's still dry, you see. They can still crack on. And there goes Rotary. No grip, no grip. Fred Dude, where are you, my son? Fred Dude, 3 seconds behind 2-0. And AXR will be rubbing their hands. I don't know where Splash is. I will look for him. He's got to be up there, hasn't he? And so Fred Dude, yellow flag. Someone off again, is it? 2-0? No, 2-0's there. It's Rotary. Rotary really struggling. And that is Frequency behind him. Frequency up to nearly lap 7th spot. And this is crazy. Look at 2-0 and Rotary trying, and they still continue on. They are not yielding on those dry tyres. It is dry now. I mean, it's dry as in the rain has stopped, but the track is still wet. And there goes Fred Dude up and into 5th place, and he'll be well chuffed with that. Looked like this race was way beyond him, and now he's found himself into 5th, while 2-0 and Rotary are trying to get themselves some sort of medal as Frequency puts a lap on these guys. Meanwhile, Frequency on the wet tyres, which is now the incorrect tyre. Nano Maranello on the medium tyres, intermediate, sorry. That's probably not the right tyre now. In all fairness, 2-0 and Rotary are probably now on the right tyre, and they'll want to pit. Harry Mop on those wet tyres, he's going to struggle with times. 59.6, a 53 for 53.9 for Nano Maranello on the intermediates, and Frequency of 57.9. Look at that, so much faster. And yeah, obviously Frequency's trying to find his way through these dry cars as well, and he's made it through, so now he can open her up a little bit. But Nano Maranello running well on the intermediates. I think the wet tyre guys are going to have to come in pretty soon, where the intermediate guys can stay out for a little longer. So Frequency, Harry Mop and Fred Dude. Flores went inters, didn't they? Yeah, so Fred Dude, they could be now on the wrong tyre. The sun has come out and it's drying up quite nicely. It was just a little shower. And wow, Flores is in. Flores is in to get rid of those inters already. Rotary's tyres starting to come back to him. He's finding grip, as is 2-0. And Frequency, he's going to get on. He's going to have to let them. He's got to yield. He's got to let them by. Here he goes. He's going to go in and get rid of the wet tyres. He has 35 seconds on Nano Maranello. What will Nano Maranello do? Is he going to get rid of the tyres, or is he going to try and get a couple of laps? But then Frequency, it's a tricky one, because coming out the pit lane is going to be treacherous. Trust me. So Nano and Maranello in second, Harry Mop in third, but Harry Mop's on the wrong tyre also. Flores has been in and he's gone on to a set of mediums and hasn't even lost a position. Rotary in fifth ahead of Fred Dude, who's now on the wrong tyre. And 2-0 has stuck it out and now is on the right tyre, and Fred Dude's going to drop. Storm Pace is coming to get rid of those wets. Nano Maranello's coming to get rid of the intermediate, so you imagine Harry Mop is going to get rid of his wet tyres as well, as that is definitely the wrong tyre. Flores could be our leader. 148, and Frequency's already out on a set of mediums, so no. Flores has got no chance of a win today. It's all Frequency, isn't it? It's all Frequency, with Nano Maranello now making a pit stop, and Harry Mop still nowhere near because those wet tyres are so slow. And Harry Mop is going in, and is Flores in with a shout here, or can Harry Mop get back out before Flores gets there? Flores already making that pit stop. Then we got Rotary, was already on the correct tyre, only 4 seconds behind Flores, so Rotary has put himself right back in the action. Fred Dude's gonna have to pit, and he's really holding 2-0 up, but 2-0 needs to pit as well because he needs fuel, but he wants to get past Fred Dude, and Fred Dude is not having it. And oh my lord, we've had a collision, and you've got to give more room than that, Fred, I'm afraid, man. I don't know what happened before that, but yeah, that was just slid into you, man. I slid into you. I'm on wet tyres. What can I do? Frequency then leads this race, and what was it? Harry Mop did get out on a set of softs ahead of Floris, and we've got 23 minutes to go. He's got half a tank of fuel, which is about 15 minutes of racing. So Harry Mop obviously expects to make another pit stop before the end of this race. Nano Maranello might not, you know. Nano Maranello might be going all the way. I think Frequency's going all the way till the end. We've seen Frequency can take about 30 minutes on a tank. I think Frequency's topped up to go all the way till the end, and it's down to Nano Maranello to try and catch him up. I think they're topped up for the end, but their tyres is what worries me. Can a set of soft tyres go all the way? Harry Mop, I don't think he's fueled up to the end. I don't think that's enough fuel. Floris is fueled up to go all the way till the end. I'll be surprised if Harry Mop's fuel goes to the end. Rotary still not making that pit stop yet after all of the action, but he's going to be way behind Floris, and 2-0 is going to have to make a pit stop pretty soon as well. Fred Dude already made his pit stop, and that might be troublesome for 2-0, because 2-0 stayed out there with an old battered set of racing soft tyres, and Fred Dude now, he's only on half a tank. I cannot tell what will get them to the end of this race. Some of them just going for half a tank. Storm Pace has gone full whack on a set of racing softs. And Big Mama coming in to get rid of those intermediates. And they didn't top up the half a tank for them as well. So some of these guys are either going to do a splash and dash near the end, or they think half a tank will get them to the end of this race, which I'm not sure it will. Sorry. I'm leaning towards these 3/4 of a tank guys for getting to the end of a race in 22 minutes. Then you'll get a second stint after this, race 2, as it's a 3-hour race. These guys, mates, their buddies, their team buds, will be jumping into the lobby and taking over for another 3 hours. If you stay here and don't move a muscle, well, actually, you have to like and subscribe this video for you to have access to the second video. So don't forget to hit like and press that subscribe button, and then you'll get access to race 2, which is great. We're watching Rotary. He's coming into the pit soon, and Fred Dude is the danger. 2-0 did pit, and Fred Dude was the danger. So 2-0 should have pitted at the same time. He saw Fred Dude go in to get rid of those tyres a lap earlier, because Fred Dude's got out there on the softs. But again, Fred Dude questionable about his fuel. What did 2-0 put in? 2-0 put in 3/4 of a tank, which is what we were guessing would get him to the end. Storm Pacer full whack. Big Mama only half a tank. Interesting. No one's racing Frequencies. 30 seconds between Nano Maranello. Harry Mop is the worry. Harry Mop could get a podium here for, I think it's Clockwork Motorsports, but the fuel is a concern. The fuel is a big concern for me, and Floris could be the one. And look who's behind Floris, but he's got to pit. I was going to say, someone will be thinking revenge, but they've got to pit on this one, which is going to hand it to Fred Dude, I'm pretty sure. But Fred Dude, I'm unsure about his fuel. So 2-0 still might be in this one. Let's see what Rotary puts in. But Floris chasing down Harry Mop. Harry Mop 46.5 last time round for the Audi driver. Harry Mop at 46.1. As they get the tyres on Rotary, and Fred Dude brings it around the final 2 corners. They'll be fueling up Rotary now, and they'll be releasing him anytime soon. They've released him. He's out of the pits. Half a tank of fuel. So there you go. There you go. Half a tank of fuel may just cut it. And Rotary somehow stays ahead of Fred Dude, and Fred Dude on a colossal drive at the moment. 2-0, nearly 9 seconds behind Fred Dude now. And he's done all his outlaps. Rotary then, can he stay ahead? Oh no, that's Frequency behind him. So he's got the leader, Frequency, pitting, lapping up into 5th place now. It's just Floris for him to catch. Nano Maranello, 28 seconds, a 45.0 from Nano Maranello, and Frequency of 47, 2-second difference, but his tyres will die by the time he catches him, and we've got 19 seconds to go. But interesting last dash from Nano Maranello, Hairy Mop. And we're watching his fuel very closely. He's just done a 45.3. And Flores chasing him down. Did a 46.5 last time around. And now they're coming to the line. And they're doing a 46.2. So no chance of catching Hairy Mop. But Hairy Mop might be having to extend to try and get in for a splash and dash. Who knows? Watch the space. And if Hairy Mop can't make it, then Fred Dude can't make it. And Fred Dude going faster now as well. Rotary. Oh no, what happened to Rotary? He's had a spin. He's had a blooming spin, hasn't he? He was ahead of Fred Dude. Oh, it's more than a spin. He's had a barrier bash. We didn't see the beginning of that, so we can't cast judgment. Rotary. But it's put 2-0 straight back in the action with a Rotary. Interesting stuff. Storm Pacer, a race of his own out there in 8th place with Big Mama in 9th. We lost Melvin. Bad connection or something. And no one's talking to me in the chat. So I guess they just don't care. I'm going to Discord to see if that's where all the chat's happening. There's some chat happening. Oh dear, Hairy Mop's having to drive without a tune. He didn't have time to put a tune in before the race. So Hairy Mop is driving with the bog standard tune in there. He's doing all right, isn't he? He better try that tune again sometime. Nano Maranello, 26.7 seconds behind frequency, but still too tight to mention. Ooh, we've got someone talking to me. I'm all excited. Nano Maranello could get 2nd place out of this race. That's a huge injection of points to the Scuderia Chiara. Huge injection of points for them. They're in 6th place at the moment on 38 points. 5 points behind Clockwork Motorsport that are right down in 8th place. So good stuff for them. And in the chat then, I'm all excited. I'm building up to this big chat. He'll probably be saying, when will the next race start? On board with you. Rudolph Shenanigans saying, who else had lobby issues? It's just Melvin, wasn't it? Oh yeah, we've lost another one. Do you know what? I didn't even notice. Who's gone? Splash. Yeah, I did ask where Splash was. Didn't notice him leave though. But yeah, Splash. We lost Splash for AXR. Wow. 2. Didn't even know. I did notice Splash wasn't there, but I thought he was like off the screen of where I can't see because I was down here somewhere. So I thought he was up there in 4th or something. But yes, we lost Splasho. Splash Dude. And frequency is absolutely owning it. We've got 16 minutes left. And Rudolph saying, oof. Yeah, so AXR losing out on a huge bunch of points. That helps Nano Maranello and his team. Look at him, 45s on the reg, but look, tyres half worn, 15 minutes to go. He's getting purples, but is it going to be worth it if he's slopping around all over the track? And Hairy Mop is down to nearly 1/4 of a tank of fuel, and I'm worried. I'm worried for him. 23 minutes he had half a tank, so he's used 1/4 up in about 7 or 8 minutes. He's not got enough. He's not got enough, I tell thee. He's got not enough fuel to get to the end. Frequency, moving on up. Nano Maranello, this is going to be a great result for the Scuderia Chiara team. Hairy Mop, I don't think he's got enough fuel, which is great news for Flores, who has had an interesting race, has Flores, and I'm sure Rotary will be wanting a little word at the end. Fred Dude turned his race right around. There's me all through the beginning of this race saying he does not get on with that Gen X, but in the rain with the with Rotary 2.0 trying to stay out on the dry tyres, it seems to have come unstuck for him. They did all right, and then they stayed out too long on those tyres whilst others went around and put fresher tyres on and just did some very good outlaps. And that put Rotary, well, we saw Rotary off the road. He was ahead of Fred Dude. And 2.0 just behind him. Interesting race between these two. 2.0 doing a 47.0 in the Aston Martin. And Rotary in the Gen X doing a 46.3. 7/10 faster. Then we have a Storm Pacer, just doing a 48.6 on a very old set of softs. Oh, those softs aren't going to get you to the end, are they, Storm Pacer? Let's be honest. And Big Mama, halfway through softs and a quarter of a tank of fuel. I don't think, again, another one we saw come out the pits with half a tank of fuel, and I didn't think it was enough. But they are a lap down, so maybe they won't have to go as far as the likes of Frequency, Nano Marinello, Hairy Mop. I have concerns for Hairy Mop. I think Floris might just still, for Garage 96, Garage 96, come through and get this podium. But Hairy Mop, fine race at the moment with Fred Dude in 5th, quarter of a tank of fuel. That was another one we weren't sure could get to the end on that fuel. And Rotary, plenty of fuel, 11 seconds behind Fred Dude. He's got to believe, he's just got to believe that Fred Dude may have to do a splash and dash. So Rotary's just got to keep on cracking on. Keep on cracking on and hope to God that Fred Dude comes into the pits. Frequency, what can you say about this bloody Finnish driver? He's bloody fantastic, that's what it is. He has not put a foot wrong all race, even under the pressures that Melvin put him on in the early parts before Kaz decided to destroy Melvin and everything he stood for. Nano Marinello is into the pits. It's the tyres that wasn't working for him. Now, I think he's got enough man. I think he's got enough time to get in. He's only got to change tyres and get back out again. Frequency, deep breaths there for Frequency. Probably saw that time drop in. Now it's up to 46 minutes as Nano and Marinello hits the track, and Hairy Mop there in the background, still not popping into the pits. Maybe he's going to use those tyres up first. That'd be the wise thing to do, wouldn't it? Use your tyres up before coming in. Floris, I think he's just driving to the end there. Probably disappointed that Nano's managed to get in, get some tyres on and get out again. And damning that rain from earlier. Fred Dude in 5th. Oh, his tyres are looking quite aggravated. He might need some cream for them. They might smart a bit. They might be a bit sore. So, yeah, don't rub it. Don't rub it in the corners like that, Fred. You're going to make them worse. So Fred Dude comes in. He comes in. He is coming in for fuel as well. I said it. I called it. I bloody called it, you know. I'm bloody good at this. That's the whiskey talking, by the way, the firewater. They'll have to strip right down to a t-shirt. My Ghostbusters t-shirt, if you're wondering. Old Ghostbusters, not the new one. The old Ghostbusters symbol on my t-shirt. Frequency leads 46.8 seconds. Nano Marinello with a quick fit. You wouldn't even know what quick fit is because he's American, but he popped into quick fit, got some new tyres, and now it's Chevy on Chevy action with Clockwork Motorsports versus Ferrari Scuderia. It's not Ferrari, Scuderia Chiara. Hairy Mop tyres. Floris going to continue on, isn't he? Floris is going to get that third, I reckon. Got a feeling there. Rotary cracking on, and Fred Dude did make that pit stop, didn't he? Did make that pit stop, 7.6 seconds behind the Finnish driver, and he's going to have to do some killer lap times in this last final 10 minutes as Hairy Mop does go in and Floris does get that third place. Oh my God, it's like there's a voice over the top of the pictures of the cars going around that's making the right calls today. It's usually Stig in race 2. You usually have to go to race 2 to get the sensible stuff. This stuff, you get all the daft stuff, the singing and the messing about, because I don't know what I'm talking about. But today, the whiskey and myself, we've got it bob on, you know what I mean? Frequency then leads 46 seconds from Nano and Marinello. And a quick thought for our fallen comrades, Melvin and Splash. Salute. A quick swig of this diabolical drink that I've invented. Sugar-free whiskey. English gentleman Jack without the sugar. Tropical gentleman. Tropical Red Bull. Oh, I can't. Let's just call it a spaz. Spaz in a glass. Oh, God, it's awful. Sugar-free Red Bull should be not allowed, man. Floris in third place. Hairy Mop, 9 seconds on a set of soft tyres. Can he do it? Can we build it? Yes, we can. See, Floris is on a set of racing mediums, you know, doing 46s, early 46s. Those tyres are only ever going to get old. Hairy Mop's already devastated about half a second out of Floris's time with those racing softs. Rub your hands, girls and boys. We might still have a race left here. Who says rain ruins races? Rotary, some 40 seconds adrift of Hairy Mop and 4.5 seconds ahead of 2-0. But we're not sure those two boys are going to make it to the air. Hairy Mop's going to make it, but Rotary and 2-0. Fuel looks tight, and Fred Dude is ready. He's ready to collect. He's your debt collector, and 2-0 and Rotary owe a debt to Fred Dude. Storm Pacer having a cracking race down there in 8th place. Made 2 moves so far. He managed to get Melvin and Splash and Big Mama, I think. He was racing Big Mama at some point. They don't use he and her. He and her. Rotary in then. Rotary in. I said Rotary in 2-0. Had to pay the piper. And Fred Dude then easily gets that spot. 6th place for the AXR team, and they need every point with Splash being out. Frequency killing it. Where are Stosilla Racing in that table? Shall I tell you? They are 89 points and only 7 points, behind Speedbots Motorsport that aren't scoring any points here because Speedbots was Melvin. So no points for Speedbots as Stosilla Racing takes the jackpot. Nano Maranello for Scuderia Chiara are doing a fantastic job. 6th place, that's going to elevate them in no misunderstanding. They're going to jump up a couple of places. I think they're going to jump up above the CWM teams. Garage 96 though, Floris scoring big as well. They're in 4th. So I think they'll be going up to 3rd in this championship. Oh wait up, I've done something wrong because God's talking to me. So frequency is there. Hang on, let me get my glasses on. Sorry Rob, before I read it. As it stands, Speedbots will be 2 points for pole and fastest lap. There you go, Speedbots get 2 points. It wasn't my fault, I didn't do anything wrong. So the Speedbots will score something, but not close to what Frequency's going to score. Frequency, go in. You've got 43 seconds, dude. Go in and put some soft tyres on and take fastest lap from Melvin. I dare you. I double dare you. Nano Maranello then. Cracking on. I mean, he's got the time. All he has to do is change tyres. He might do near the end. Maybe he's running his fuel down. He's a racing driver. It's crossed his mind, surely. He's probably irritated in that Melvin's down there on the fastest lap sheet. He's probably just planning his moment to come in to take that fastest lap away. Nano Maranello in second, you've got to say. Cracking race from Nano Maranello. I don't know what their previous results have been like. They've not been in the top 3 though, I don't think. So, cracking drive from the Chevy driver. Floris in that Audi. I mean, I take my hat off to Garage 96 for choosing the Audi in the first place. I even had another go on it with the track. What track was it? I was trying one of those track experience things, and it was in that bloody car, and it was bloody awful. So it might have been Deep Forest or I think Deep Forest or something. But anyway, it's a horrible car to drive. It's just horrible. Just wants to spin all the time. Just wants to kill you. It's like it's built just to go wee. Hairy Mop, we saw pop in to get extra fuel, and you know what? He is catching Floris up. I said race on, and he's halved the deficit. He was some 10 seconds behind, and now he's nearly 5 seconds behind. It was 9 minutes. He's on his way, and he's on his way. I don't know where I'm going. Holy Corona. Me and Julio down by the schoolyard. So Frequency leads the race. I suspect he might pop in for a set of soft tyres before the end, because he's got no one squeezing him up behind, has he? He's got no one pinching his bum. So why not? Nano Maranello just keeping it straight, keeping it facing forward. Doesn't want no surprises now at this point in the race with only 3 minutes on the clock. Floris being caught by Hairy Mop, but is it enough? Is it enough by Hairy Mop? A 45.4 last time around. Floris a 46.9. The tyres are really shady for the Audi driver, and Hairy Mop might steal the podium before the end of the race. It's down to 3 seconds. Floris must have a wet sweat on. He's got to have. We've got 2 more laps to go of this shenanigans, and Hairy Mop is closing in on Floris. 2-0. Who would have thunk it now? Ahead of Fred Dude. How? Oh, Fred Dude stopped for a pit stop. 2-0 didn't. Oh yeah, because I said they were going to both need to stop for pits, but I think 2-0 has fuel saved. But I think he's also got a lot of problem with them tyres come the end of the race. And Fred Dude all up and in his business. Fred Dude looking to grab himself 5th place today if he can get past 2-0, who's on a failing set of tyres and possibly not enough fuel. Well, 2 minutes to go. He's got to have enough fuel, hasn't he? He's done well to get that fuel there. Rotary's had some adventures today. Started very strong up at the front there. Held, what, 3rd place? For the longest time. Ooh, for the longest time. It's the whiskey. But with a little coming together with Floris, put him down, and then he was always up against it. But Frequency, 42.2 seconds to the lead, and he didn't go in and put some softs on, like I suspected he would. He's not interested in fastest laps and shenanigans like that. Just wants a straightforward win. There you go. Give me the champagne. You can keep the little tyre that you sign. Or is that pole? I can't remember what they get for fastest lap. Nano Maranello, 42 seconds adrift, 35 seconds ahead of Floris, and this is the one. Hairy Mop, with only 1 more lap in it, is closed right in on Floris. Floris 47.0 last time around, where Hairy Mop is managing a 44.9. Unbelievable stuff. And he's closed right up to the Audi driver. It's Audi versus BMW. That's how the front row looked. That's how the front row looked. BMW versus Audi. And at the moment they are fighting for the final podium position, whilst the English Marquis McLaren leads and the American Chevy comes second. It's the Germans fighting over the scraps. And at the moment, Floris all up and in that business. The timer says 20 seconds on it. Someone's coming up towards the line, which I usually try to jump to him. I think they're going to cross the line before the time runs out. But we're aboard Hairy Mop as he tries to go around the outside. That'll be a mistake. Floris isn't too worried about spatial, and that's the move done in the hairpin. No messing, cracking stuff. People are crossing the line. Rotary comes in 7th. Who's next? There we go. Nano Maranello grabbing himself 2nd place. Great drive from Nano Maranello. There's another person. Bloody hell. It's Storm Pacer then coming up around the final corners. A 46.593 was their fastest today, and 8th place, best they could do with what they had. And there we go, crossing the line to take 8th place. Great stuff. Then we have the podium battle to be sorted out as Hairy Mop comes forth and takes the podium. Well done, my son. Floris goes in 4th. Where the hell is Frequency? Frequency's next to cross the line. So Frequency comes around. What a race. We weren't sure if it was going to be him or Melvin on the top step, but Melvin got cased and got booted out the lobby, and here comes a Frequency to take the win. Superb stuff. Fred Dude then coming up across a Big Mama to cross the line, and he's being caught by 2-0. 2-0. Who's got no fuel. No, he's not being caught by 2-0. So Fred Dude then following Big Mama around the final corner. Big Mama comes home in 9th place. Great drive, Big Mama, with Fred Dude in 5th and 2-0 in 6th. Woo-wee! So your top 3 was Frequency, Nano Marinello, and Hairy Mop. And there he is. Look at you. Look at you, you GT Finland racing legend. Well done. Frequency. Superb drive from the Finn. I can't hang around for too long at the end of these because they want to get on with their third race. Third round, second race. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was cracking. We'll go to this because you don't want to see the ins and the outs of the room. Frequency takes the win with Nano Marinello in second and Hairy Mop rounding out that podium. Look at that, 2 Americans and a Finn. I've seen a video on the Orange YouTube like that. I'm sure I have. 2 Americans and a Finn. It's called The Tourist. Floris is in 4th with Fred Dude coming home in 5th. And I'll tell you what, Fred Dude's used to the wins, but that was a race for Fred Dude today. Floris has got to be feeling like he lost something. It's like he lost a tenner and found 50p. 2-0 comes home in 6th place in the much improved Aston Martin, I've heard, by the Bop. And Rotary in 7th, with Storm Pacer coming home in 8th, and Big Mama in 9th. We lost Splash somewhere along the way, and Melvin also, but Melvin does take pole and fastest lap. Right, let me be professional and tell you when the next race is and where it is, because I'm good. I've been good at this one. I've been really, really good. Fred Dude says he will take P5, so I told you. Man's used to winning, but after that race, woof. So for you guys, for me, I'm not in action again until Suzuka on May the 13th. Suzuka will be fun, won't it? But for you guys, you've got more. You've got more coming. You've got our boy, the Aussie Stig, taking you through the more serious side of the race. We're going to do the second half, and he's cleverer than me, and he can say his words right. So you're all in for a lucky treat. Stay here. Why has he ended it? He's not meant to end it. Stay here for the next round. Maybe he needed me out. Who knows? Race 2 coming up very, very soon. Maybe he's done it because all the liveries were buggered. All right, then. I was your broadcaster and your commentator. I can't remember my own name. Can you believe it? Let me think. Let me have a look in my wallet and my passport. I go by many names. I am a man of many names. Mike Oxlong. Thank you for joining us here at the AequepaX Racing. It's not a channel. It is a channel, but they don't call it AequepaX Racing Channel. I call it AequepaX Racing Channel because it seems weird saying AequepaX Racing. Thanks, guys. Thanks for you. Really chatty. You really kept me company. All of you. Bless you. See you later. Peace out.